when people sort of talk about the Trinity factor, the Trinity squash community,
Yeah.
how would you describe it to an outsider?
So I'm biased. It's the wrong person.
I want you to be biased. That's why you're here.
I think I'm going to go on a bit of a. I strongly feel this actually. I think Paul Assaiante single-handedly reshaped and re-engineered the way squash has gone in this country. So like through that program. And what I mean by that is, and I have to include Wendy as well. So no one talks a lot about Wendy Bartlett, who's the women's coach at Trinity. She's been there longer than Paul. And and she's done an amazing job as well. But that institution, if you look at in the US squash, how many of those players remain in squash and continue to work in the game over the years, it's not even, there's no other institution I can think of that's even close, right? So he set up a situation where people came in loving the game and left loving it more, which is something I don't know if it's still possible for many programs because of the way we push our juniors and the stuff that's on the line. The Trinity factor is more of like the family thing, like the fact that if I want to ask someone about something in a certain industry, more times than others, I'm going to call someone that went to Trinity, basically, for me, right? Like that's how I approach it. The people I'm very close to, my personal friends, they know who they are, and I don't want to list them because then I'll get into trouble if I leave anyone out. The majority of those people are from Trinity. I've gone to a lot of weddings, a lot of international weddings, and that's something. If we didn't enjoy each other's company, and I've had these conversations with other players from other schools, not to mention the people or the places, but it's not the same. They don't have that. They don't have what we have, and I think the alumni WhatsApp group is standing at a pretty decent number right now, and we've been doing a couple of cool things on there. And so it's a different, you have to be in it to understand. If you're not in it, it's hard to like describe. But it's a big, big, big family, a lot of languages, and now a lot of children. So potential future players. So with both squash playing parents, there's a lot of that going on. So I think it'll be an interesting future.
I think it's the way you described it is wonderful, and just trying, like you said, just trying to describe it to outside people is so difficult. But once you experience it firsthand, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah, and just the ability for the older ones, they always helped down, right? Like so, like I look at, and I mean, there's amazing role models in the program. Lafika was the first Black player to play college by a long way. Like I think it was him.
Wow.
I think there was a player at Yale, James Bullock, I think his name was, And so there was a couple of, there's things like that. Like Lafika came from Africa, it's black, dreadlocks, the whole nine, like great guy. And I looked up to him and I ended up getting dreadlocks just because, like, you know what I mean? Like I do the whole, I wanted to be like him. And that, like having people like that to look up to, and it's just an amazing institution. But we've been very lucky to have Paul, who's still with us, and I have to say, like, shout out to him and what he's done for squash in this country and continues to do. Because, yeah, I mean, look at the coaches, look at all the people who are still in the game. Look at the doubles, SDA. Might not have a tour without those Trinity kids running around. So, like, so it's just all that is testament to the program, I guess.
Absolutely. And, at the center of that are the two coaches, Paul Assaiante and Wendy Bartlett, of course. But tell me what makes Paul so special. I mean, I listened in preparation for this. I went and looked you up on YouTube, and there's a video, I guess, that the Trinity Tripod did, and they ask you to describe Paul. Do you remember what you said?
Yeah, I remember what I said. I remember what I looked like. I remember how much skinnier I was and stuff, but like, no, I said like it's like he's a father figure to everyone, and I think it's like it's very hard to explain when the person is, you're going to him with your deepest, darkest secrets, right? Like that's literally everyone. I would be shocked. I wonder how many calls he gets a day to this day, because I still call him. And so
Me too. Me
I'm
too.
still calling him. That means I think there's about 20 other people a day that call him for some sort of advice or anything like that. So I think, yeah, father figure, confidant. Don't think of it, like, all due respect, love him, and I think I could say this to him myself and to the face. I don't think of him as a squash coach, like in the purest sense of that word. Like, I don't think he's going to go in there and change your swing or your movement, but he's going to change the way you feel, the way you think about other people, the way the moment you're in, good or bad, is like a good thing. Like he always finds a way to
Yeah.
flip it. So like I think he used to call it just managing the moment and like enjoying being nervous. Like I wish I could be nervous. Can't remember the last time I was nervous before a game. It's been years, right? Like, but like when you're getting nervous, you're like, oh, I don't like this feeling, butterflies. I remember him telling us, cherish it because it's going to come a time where you don't have it anymore, and you can't sit on your couch and create it. You can't sit on your couch and just be like, I want butterflies right now. It doesn't happen because you're not doing anything that like you care about and you could potentially fail at. And so he was just so good at the mental, emotional side of what we did, and it made us too tough mentally and emotionally for people to deal with. Like, just it would have taken a lot for someone to take that team down. So,
And
and
do you think that's why you guys are able to hold on to that streak for so long? Is that the mental work that he did with you? And because that's a lot of pressure, Simba,
yeah,
every year going into it. And how did you guys just not think about it, I guess?
I I don't like. I want to make sure this comes across the right way. I don't mean to be cocky at all, but at the time I was there, it was getting towards the end of an era where he was so far ahead in recruiting. It was not even remotely close. Like, so we had, not to say we were better, but we just had so many more players than anyone else, right? So, and that's not to diminish what he did, because you're bringing in national champions from every part of the world, and you're getting them to buy into the fact it's a team sport. And so we were ahead from that standpoint. I thought the talent on the team was very, very good. Like the ability to like have four. I remember playing, as I said, a round robin for number 9, right? The week of nationals, 5 guys playing for one spot. If you get that spot, you're pretty much ready, right? Like, and I don't know how many teams, even in this day and age, can do that. Like, we had 4 or 5 guys who could have played my spot at 9. And so having that is just knowing your team is just deep. Everyone cares. Everyone's trained hard. And I think his genius was to like make us come down from like the so-called pedestal. Okay, you won last year, but hold on. Before you guys got it, there's a team that won 5 years in a row. Oh, you guys, you know, and there were moments where he described losing a lot. But he wasn't describing winning a lot. He talked a lot about losing. Um, that would be a great relief one day, because at that point, that team, whoever that was going to be, had come up to the level. And that's a person who's doing it for more than just him winning. He wanted the game and the country to go up. And so,
Right.
and when you're playing for someone like that, who's like okay with having a loss, if it's warranted and the team is better, it made it an easier place to like kind of play. I mean, the pressure was insane. I mean,
Can't deny that, right?
you can't deny the pressure, but if you've got a team where you're going on court and your first 3 rounds are over in like 45 minutes and you're 3-love up, and it's like, and you've got Bassett playing last, you got like this, like you got these security blankets in the team where you just thought that person's not going to lose. Like Supreet's not losing a squash match. Like so it's different now, but he managed to get us to calm down and look at everything outside of just the wins and the losses, right? So I guess that's his brilliance there.